So when we're practicing Vipassana meditation, it's quite common for thoughts and emotions to arise, and if we're practice, we can see these emotions come with a certain sensation. So for me, on a meditation retreat, there was lots of anger arising, and there was lots of tension and pain in my back. But for other people, it might be sadness in their hips, or happiness in their hands, or their face. But there's always an accompanying sensation to an emotion. Often the sensation can be felt before the mental object becomes clear. So we can find ourselves getting tense before we're getting angry. We can find our body relaxing before we realise that we are relaxing. We can almost predict our future emotions by a few minutes, by being aware of the body. And this is more than just a novelty. It shows us really quite deep insights, and this is why Vipassana meditation is often called insight meditation. And over time we can realise that the whole world is contained within the sensations of the body. We realise that what we're seeing isn't the outside world. It's what we're seeing is a mental image of the outside world. What we think of as out there is actually in our head, and we can see this by recognising that other animals have got a different sight, and their worldview of out there doesn't contain colours that we can see, or may contain colours that we don't. And I was thinking quite a lot the last couple of weeks about dogs and their sensations and their world, and a lot of their world is known through smells. That dogs can smell emotions, and imagine a world where we had smell as our primary function of understanding the world. We'd say, you smell sad, rather than you look sad. You smell happy. And for a dog, that would, if a dog could talk, that would be a normal way for them to interact. So it shows that what we view as objective reality is a lot more subjective. And again, when we meditate more, we realise that we're creating meaning, we're interpreting the world, and we're labelling things as good and bad, and that's causing suffering. And anyone that has spent any time around Buddhism likes to talk about suffering. It's our favourite subject, and this subject of suffering is often talked about ignorance being suffering, and ignorance has got quite a negative, pejorative view in Western language. But what the Buddha was talking about with ignorance of suffering, it's this likening, this labelling, and this creating of meaning. And we like to think of ourselves as uncovering meaning. We investigate the world, and we write books on the way the world is. and we think that we're uncovering meaning. We're uncovering meaning when we talk about other people. This person's this person, that person, this person's good or bad, but we're not investigating and uncovering truths. There's no truth to uncover. There's only truth to create. And once we realise we're creating meaning, and we don't need to create any meaning, we don't need to interpret the world, we can relax. We don't have to have an opinion about anything. We don't have to have an opinion on whether someone's good or bad, or this government policy is good or bad. We're taking a step back and realizing that once we embrace and we've got the confidence to embrace not knowing and not creating, then there's peace. We go through the world thinking we have to create and we have to influence and we have to push through every door. We have to create meaning for ourselves when really we don't. We can just be, and we're so used to feeling like we have to influence the world and do. We forget that our body, we don't digest our food, we don't beat our heart. There is this consciousness in us that's far superior to our cognitive intellect. We can't think our way to beating our heart or digesting our food, but there's this intelligence within us. And if we let that same intelligence out and we stop trying to influence and create meaning, we can see what we're doing in life uncovers itself to us. We see that what we should be doing, whether we should be changing jobs or how we should view our conduct in our jobs or in our personal relationships or anything. We can think about what we want to eat, or we can just sit quietly and let our body, listen to our body, and then we realise we start fancying something to eat, and that's usually because we need to eat more of this vitamin or that vitamin. So we don't have to think of answers. We could have the confidence to just sit and let the answers come to us, and the more we do that in small ways, we can practice and do it in bigger ways. But we have to have that courage to let go of doing, and again that letting go is another. I don't know if it's just a Buddhist phrase, but it's certainly at least a Buddhist phrase, letting go. So my advice to people is to just explore those ideas of the body's own innate intelligence and the idea that we're creating meaning when really we don't really know what's happening. It's just interpretations and being comfortable with being stupid, with not knowing, with not having an opinion, with not needing to have an opinion, with not needing to interpret what we see on the news or anything. We can just let go and realise that our opinion isn't really needed, and then we live with the world, not in opposition to it, and hopefully that grinding sensation and that tiring sensation will become less as we learn to live with flow and have that mind-body connection, where the body is telling us what we do. We no longer need to look at a thermostat to wonder if we're cold or not. We can sit quietly and feel our body and just things like that. So hopefully I've maybe not helped, but given people food for thought, just to investigate. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But it's always fun to think about these things and think about how a dog would write a book or something about seeing the world through smells. But yes, that's what I want to share with everyone today. Hopefully people have found it enjoyable, or at least something to think about. So, Anumodana Sadhu.